No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show, presented by Play Now, the official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets, starts now.
Well, the intro says that there will be much to discuss, and for the most part, I'd say that is true and accurate. Not so sure that's going to be the truth about the game that just ended here on Wednesday morning, but we will go into it just like we always do, and we will say good morning, Winnipeg, good morning, Manitoba. And for all those joining us live this morning on our YouTube channel, we say good morning, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Along with Dave Manouk, along with Ezra Ginsburg, I am your host, Drew Mandel, here to discuss the Los Angeles Kings' 3-0 victory over the Winnipeg Jets on this contest. And gentlemen, if you love defensive structure and whistles, well, this was the game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there wasn't obviously a lot of goals in this game. There wasn't a ton of shots. The Jets went a big chunk of that third period without a shot on net, and it just seemed like tonight nobody wanted to score on the power play until Kevin Fiala obviously scored on the double minor when Vlad Nemesnikov was called for high sticking, right? So there was definitely no shortage of power play opportunities. How many were there? 10
4 for each team, or
11.
I guess 5 for the Kings and 4 for the Jets.
Right. So, I mean, there were power play opportunities. There were, scoring chances to be had. I thought Hellebuck was really solid, right? He made that 2-on-1 save on Quinton Byfield. He made a really good save on Adrian Kempe. Obviously, Kempe got the first goal, but he had a really good scoring chance in the second period. I thought Hellebuck was solid. He gave his team a chance to win. There was just kind of a lack of oomph tonight for the Jets. Like, there were a lot of, I thought, trying to be a little bit too cute, a little bit too fancy on the power play. I really didn't like the way the power play looked, like both units. I didn't think were looking that great tonight. Obviously, I'm not worried. Maybe it was just one of those games, but I think, as you said, Drew, LA's a team that they love to slow it down, and boy, did they slow tonight's game down. It was a lot of dump and chase hockey, a lot of trying to make something out of nothing, trying to go low to high, trying to get something going around the net. I thought Taves' line was good with obviously Nemesnikov and Iafallo. Iafallo obviously and Pearson, Dave, playing their old team. They're a little bit extra motivated, right? But yeah, just one of those games. And guys, like, let's not forget, this is LA's first home victory of the season, right? So they had lost a couple of games in a row here at home prior to tonight's game. So they were desperate. Like, I'm not going to say that they were the more desperate team, but that they wanted to get that victory under their belt.
They were 0-3-2 entering tonight's game on home ice. They're now obviously 1-3-2, Dave. It was definitely low event. I'm looking at the expected goals for each team at 5-on-5, and reliably, that's usually at least into the 2s for both teams. Tonight, the expected goals at 5-on-5, 1.78 for the LA Kings, 1.25 for the Winnipeg Jets. So low event, pretty sleepy, pretty structured. There were some opportunities, I would say, that the Jets had that they might usually capitalize on them. Darcy Kemper made some nice saves. Connor Hellebuck made some nice saves. But both of these teams are teams that succeed because of structure. And I think that's what you saw play out tonight at, I guess it's Crypto.com arena, if I'm not mistaken.
You're a big crypto guy, Drew.
I'm really not. I prefer my money, or at least if I don't have my cash, I take gold bricks. I'm a big fan of gold bricks, but not a big crypto guy.
Not silver coins?
Doubloons, actually. If you have any doubloons, I'll take some doubloons.
Back when he was conquering Spain, Ezzy, that's what he liked. That was his favorite form of currency. Yeah, Drew, I think that's a fair assessment. This was I think I wrote in the game recap, boys, that watching paint dry might have been more exciting than watching parts of this game. So I know that Kevin tried to polish that turd a few times, but that's exactly what I thought he was doing. It was not exciting hockey by any stretch of the imagination. Lots of power plays. I thought the Kings actually I mean, the Kings came into this game, I think, with the 24th ranked power play and the 25th ranked PK, or vice versa. So neither one was particularly good. But I thought they played really aggressive. I don't think they wanted to let the Jets get any time and space, especially on the PK, obviously. So I thought that they really nullified the elements that give the Jets their advantages and took that away from them.
Yeah.
And you got to give credit to both goaltenders. I thought both goaltenders, Ezzy, I think you're right. I think Kemper was real good, and I think Connor Hellebuck was very good. So it was not a particularly exciting game. Questionable. I'm actually surprised the Jets made a challenge on the goal that was called off, the Gabe Velarde goal in the first period, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a marginal call at best, but for them to overturn it with some evidence that he had made contact, is, even if he's pushed in, again, like I said, I didn't think it was goalie interference personally. I think that I think he's in his space. I think.
Hold on, Dave. Are you doubting Matt Prefontaine?
No, I'm doubting the referees making the right call. Is what I'm doubting, Essie.
I do believe that. I mean, so let's talk about that. That came early-ish in the first period when the game was still scoreless. You know, I agree with you. Like the way the official, when he waved it off very emphatically from the start, and you made it seem like it was the most blatant, obvious that there was no chance it was going to be. And then you watch the replay, and it's far more marginal than it originally was. I can understand why they didn't reverse the decision.
Right.
I can also understand why the Jets made the challenge. I also think that an element to the Jets' thinking was, well, our PK is so good that this is worth the risk, that we can kill off the penalty if we are wrong, which they, in fact, did, of course. Sure. I think, quickly, I think it was nullified, if I'm not mistaken, by the Kings taking a penalty, and that led to the first 4-on-4 situation in tonight's game. There were a couple of those. But, it's amazing that in the playoffs they never want to take a goal off the board, but in the regular season, who cares? Or I mean, it's the spin the wheel, and maybe you know what it is, maybe you don't know what it is. Velarde on this play, to me, gets as much jostled into Kemper because of the impact of the Kings defender than anything that he did wrong himself. I thought he did a pretty good job of making sure that his skates and his blades were, marginally in the crease at best, and then only more so after he was pushed in by the Kings defender.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, sorry guys, I'll just finish. But like, to me, that's why I was surprised, because to what you just said, Drew, I agree with you. The reality is, how is a ref that emphatic? Because when you watch it, I mean, again, you're supposed to be watching it. You're supposed to be like right there in 5 to 10 feet away from the play, and you're watching that, and you're like, again, like I said, to me, it was not clear cut by any stretch of the imagination. And I understand you want to go and review it, or they review it. And again, like I said, like, it's hard to overturn it because you can kind of argue it both ways. But I agree. To me, I was a little surprised that the ref was as emphatic as he was to wave it off, because it was not that clear cut. It wasn't as if you can see him in the middle of the blue paint, right, Ezzy? And then suddenly you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. It's like, no, he's at the top of the crease, and then as Drew just said, pushed in. So, anyways, it is what it is. And the Jets can't argue that not scoring then somehow impacted their ability to score the rest of the game.
Well, and also, boys, you saw the replay from behind. The replay from behind, it looks like Velarde did nothing, and then you actually see the regular replay, and then you can see, okay, like his shoulders on Kemper and everything like that, but it wasn't major contact. Like I think it was definitely, like, we're all in agreement here, it was worth challenging, right? Like at first. Because as Drew mentioned, and as Dave just talked about, the ref made it like it was an obvious wave off the goal, right? Like, and it wasn't obvious, right? Like when you watched it, and it took them a little bit of time, right? Because remember, they went to commercial break, and it seemed like they weren't going to challenge
8 to 10 minutes to decide if they wanted to challenge the player or not.
So then they came back from commercial break, then the Jets challenged it, and then it was another couple minutes. So, I mean, ultimately the goal doesn't count, and that's unfortunate, because as we know, you get the first goal, especially against a team like the Kings, which, they're a good stingy team, right? It's unfortunate that the Jets weren't able to get the goal, but I mean, it was ultimately called off, and the goalie interference mystery box continues.
It is a mystery box, no question about it. I think it was either you, Dave, or you, Ezzy, I'm not sure which one of you said it, about the Kings' power penalty kill, how it has struggled so far this year. you watch that penalty kill tonight, they were more on their game than the Jets power play was. And that, I think, is clearly one of the big reasons why LA won tonight's contest. Jets really, this was the most struggles we've seen from the Jets power play, I would suggest, this season. They just didn't seem prepared or able to handle the immediate pressure that the Kings put on them all over the ice. It wasn't like, they put pressure instantly in the immediacy, and then when the Jets got control, they backed off a bit. They were right there, trying to snuff out plays from the get-go. I really liked that approach the LA Kings employed against the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know if they saw something on the pre-scout or if they saw something on their video evidence, but the Jets really did seem to struggle with the Kings' speed and aggressiveness on the penalty kill today. And I think that is a significant factor in the 3-0 final score.
Absolutely. And it was highlighted in the third period, right? When the Kings took those two penalties back to back. Nemesnikov, he drew both of those penalties.
Yes, he did.
There was, I think the first power play, there was only one shot on net. I think the second power play, I think I counted 3 shots on net. It was mentioned by
3, but I think they were all sort of later in the power play. The first unit had trouble setting up.
I was going to say, I remember Tanner Pearson had a shot. There wasn't a lot of traffic. You're right, though, Drew. I mean, we're not, especially, dating back to last year, we're not used to seeing the Jets kind of stumble on their power play, right? Like, it wasn't that, they were forcing Darcy Kemper to make big saves. It was that they were having trouble setting up and getting the shots. Also, guys, it's really crazy. This was mentioned on the broadcast as well by Dan. It's really crazy that Kyle Connor hasn't scored a power play goal since last December. Like, wow. if you think about that, he's I don't care what anybody says, he's still one of the most dangerous guys on the power play in the league. Sure. Like, he's still somebody that you have to know where Kyle Connor is at all times. And obviously,
it makes his goal scoring totals all the more impressive when you realize they're all 5-on-5, or the occasional shorthanded penalty shot.
Exactly. So I think he's due, boys. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and give a Ginsburg guarantee. Kyle Connor will score a power play goal on this road trip. You like that, Drew?
Yeah, I don't, because how did the Game 7 of the Jays Dodgers series end up after your Ginsburg guarantee on Saturday?
Not very well.
Not very well at all.
It was close, though. I mean, come on, you can't.
No, I can't talk. No, I can't talk about it.
I can't talk about the Jays.
I can't hear it. I can't talk about it.
Nice to see Shane Bieber sign, though.
That's great. That'll be beneficial in Game 9 of the World Series.
Wasn't there a chance that he was going to leave?
There was certainly a chance that he was going to opt out.
Drew, I'm trying to spin it on a
Look
pause.
At poor Dave. Poor Dave is in mourning, as you can't talk about it. He just said it, and you continue to talk about it. In any event, we'll move on.
I hope they, as an aside, I really hope they keep Bo Bichette. I don't know if they will be able to, but
we'll move on from that topic because Ginsburg and his guarantees never seem to pan out for anybody. But the LA again, I don't know how much you can take from this game. I think by and large, the Jets are probably reasonably okay with how they played structurally. You don't love that you lose 3-0. You don't love getting shut out, of course. Second time they've been shut out 3-0 in the first 13 games of this season. But, I mean, this Jets game...
Especially considering they only got shut out, once last year?
Yeah, something like that. But, I mean, the struggles of this Jets team offensively are... I don't think they're shocking to anybody, particularly without Cole Perfetti in the lineup. When the power play isn't clicking, they might have even a little bit more trouble, finding the back of the net. And, the Kings and the Jets employ a very similar approach. They're both structure-based teams. They're both teams that love to keep, that don't give up a ton of goals. LA has been notorious, of course, for being, stingy in terms of goals against for years on end. That's been a big part of their success over the last number of years. This game is two teams that are almost the Spider-Man meme at each other. But, and I thought you saw that a lot in tonight's game. If you're Scott Arniel, you want to be a little bit more crisp. You want the power play to be way better. You want to get a couple goals, no doubt. But I don't think you're that terribly upset with, by and large, how your team played, because the structure is what you wanted it to be. Now it's a results-based business, as we all know. But at the same time, you're 9-3 on the season, and it's building blocks, as they like to say, especially with Adam Lowry returning to the lineup tonight.
Well, that's what I was going to mention, boys, that I saw a comment earlier that somebody said that they knew that the Jets were going to lose because Lowry was coming back into the lineup. I have no idea what that means.
There's some people who point to the Jets record with Adam Lowry and to the Jets record without Adam Lowry in the lineup. I hope it's a little bit more tongue in cheek.
I thought that was a joke. I just assumed it was a joke.
I hope it is. I'm sure there are some people who believe that, but everyone's entitled to their opinion, no matter how head scratching it may be at times.
Well, the reality is, guys, you'd rather have Adam Lowry in your lineup versus not having him in the lineup, right? Like, so that's kind of what it boils down to for me. And I thought, even though, that wasn't necessarily his greatest game I've ever seen him play, I thought he looked pretty good out there for a guy who hasn't played in a long time. Like, let's remember, guys, like, it's been 6 months since he last played a hockey game. So I thought he looked pretty good. Like, he was laying some body checks early on in the game. I thought he looked fine on faceoffs, right, Dave? Because that was like a little bit of a concern, right?
Well, that's part of the thing that he said over the last, that faceoffs have hurt for the last couple of years before he had the surgery that would help get him sort of back to more full strength. I mean, again, Adam Lowry's never really going to be your difference maker for the Winnipeg Jets. Adam Lowry is a dressing room leader. He's a heart and soul guy on the ice, does all the little things. He's never usually the guy who's going to win you a game with his offensive prowess. No. I thought Adam Lowry was a perfectly reasonable season debut for Adam Lowry.
He started the game. He started the game for the Jets. He was out there. The first penalty kill for the Jets, Dave, he was out there on the top PK unit, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's what you want to see, right? Like, it's not like, there was some speculation, are they going to ease him in, everything like that. To me, that was not easing him in. That was Adam Lowry's back in the lineup. We're going to play him like we normally play him.
14 minutes of ice time, 346 shorthanded. You might need to take some lessons from old Johnny Taves in the face-off circle. He was 1 for 13 in the face-off circle, which is not great. I don't need to tell you that an 8% grade in the face-off circle is not.
Notice terrific. I didn't mention that, Drew, when I was mentioning the numbers. I was trying to give Lowry a little bit of a little bit of a pass.
Takes time. Getting your timing down takes time. These are all the little things that sort of come with getting back up to game speed. You can practice all you want. You can try and recreate game action. It's not the same until you actually hit the ice. I thought he's going to be fine. I thought he was, decent for the Winnipeg Jets on a night that no Jets player really stood out, for better or worse. There's not even anyone that you would say that guy had a real struggle of a game tonight. It was just a game. It was really just the most generic 1 of 82 that we have to get through in the regular season. And that's what I would sort of assess tonight.
Except Dave, it was 13 of 82.
Wow. No, but it was,
I know.
The unusual part was, Drew, and as nobody even mentioned that Hayden Fleury played in the game instead of Luke Shen. I was
yeah, what happened there? That was kind of weird.
I have to assume that Luke Shen is still feeling the effects of that shot block.
But Drew, Luke Shen took morning skate.
I know.
So I'm just saying that it's unusual in that, again, I understand that he didn't play the game against the Penguins because of, supposedly because of that. But at the same time, it's a little unusual that he's in the morning skate. He was in the projected lineup. And then I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh, why is Fleury in the lineup? And then I was like, what did I miss? How was Fleury? And then I look at the Jets and they hadn't put anything out. Nobody else put anything out. And so I was just like, okay, well, that's a little unusual, but sure enough, I don't know if Scott O'Neill.
It was supposed to be Miller, and it was going to be Miller
on his offside,
on his off wing, and Chen. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it was one of those games that was just like, yeah, it was very ho hum. I thought Jonathan Taves had a couple of plays where he had some chances and he created some things and some looks, but yeah, I mean.
I also like Brad Lambert again. Sorry, Dave, sorry to cut you off there. You were just going to mention Parker Ford, right? When Brad Lambert took that penalty in the second period, early in the second period, remember him and Koepke, Lambert went to the net and Koepke had a good scoring chance, right? Mm-hmm. So and look, those were few and far between for that line, Dave.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, that line has outperformed my expectations.
Yeah, I thought they had a couple of good looks. And again, like I said, I think Drew's right. You go over that game and you think to yourself, did anybody do anything remarkable? Not really. Did anybody do anything unremarkable? Well, maybe a little bit, but nothing egregious. And yeah, it was just a game. It really was a game.
It was a Tuesday night game in November.
Which, for the record, isn't going to entice people to be watching or listening to our podcast. So let's pretend like it was fantastic. It was amazing. Let's go.
Let's just make up goals that didn't occur. 7-6 final for the Jets. Don't read online. It might say something different.
I'll change illegalcurve.com. It's fine.
Thank you. Let's get into the Betway. Pardon me, the Betway. It's 12:33 in the morning. Can you tell? The Play Now game recap here on the Illegal Curve post-game show.
The Play Now game recap.
Big thanks to our friends at Play Now for their continued support. When you sign up for Play Now, you get to choose your welcome bonus up to $250. Don't bet on illegal sites. Bet with Play Now instead. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Enjoy responsibly. We touched on the disallowed goal. We touched on the power play struggles. Let's touch on the opening goal by the LA Kings. Adrian Kempe, his 6th of the season, assist to Yoel Armia, if you will. Mikey Anderson getting the secondary assist on this one as well. The Jets had a good opportunity at one end of the ice. The Kings come back the other end. It's a low to high place. We know how difficult low to high plays are to defend. Armia and Kempe executed to perfection. Mark Scheifele doesn't execute the defensive responsibility to perfection on this one. He loses track of Adrian Kempe, and Kempe makes no mistake depositing the puck behind Connor Hellebuck at the 17:09 mark of the first period, Ezzy.
Yeah, and the Kings had some good pressure there in the first period, and as you mentioned, Drew, there's the defensive zone coverage was a not airtight, and Yoel Armia has actually fit in nicely there on that Kings team. And we've kind of talked about him a little bit when the Jets have played him. Obviously, what did he spend 3 or 4 years in Montreal, maybe even more? He was an effective player for the Habs.
Well, he was traded in the Steve Mason deal. When was the Steve Mason deal?
Yeah, that's. Maybe he was on the Habs longer than that. Anyways, he was on the Habs before the Kings, right? And this is just a nice play by just a really nice pass. As I mentioned, Kopitar's the other player on that line. They had some good pressure, and it's Morrissey who's the defenseman in front, and it's Scheifele who's obviously the center, and Kempe just has a step on him. And Kempe, I've always said this. You guys, sorry if I've sound like a broken record here, but Kempe's a very underrated player. Like, obviously, when people think of the LA Kings, they think of Kopitar. Maybe they think of Drew Doughty. Maybe you throw in Kevin Fiala. But Kempe has been a top offensive player for a long time. Just wanted to mention that in there. And he's got a really good nose for the net. Mm-hmm. And on this particular play, I mean, I think, the Jets were just a step behind there. Whether it was Morrissey and Scheifele, there were 2 guys there. And they kind of just watched Kempe move in, right, Dave? So, I think, that's one where Scott Arniel and the coaching staff, they're not really going to have to break that one down to Scheifele and Morrissey, right? Like, Scheifele and Morrissey know what they should have been doing there.
Yeah,
I think it's just a good thing.
7 years, by the way, Armia played for the.
Yeah, so that's when I said 4 or 5 years, I was like, I think that's low. Mm-hmm. 7 years, he's had it. Look, Armia's had a good career. I know this isn't Yoel Armia lunch, Dave, but
first of all,
he's had a productive career.
He's back to Joel Armia, Ezzy.
Back to Joel?
Yeah, he actually. I think
seriously?
Yeah, I do. I think he's Joel Armia. Well, man, he's in LA. Come on, Yoel Armia.
Well, it's funny, Dave, because I
mean, if you're going to be anywhere and you're going to put an effect on your name, I would think that LA would be the place to do so.
I don't know. Seemingly, I will say though, the good news is
Drew would be like DRU. Like if Drew was in LA,
I would be
especially with that mustache, Dave. He would be DRU Drew.
I would be Daru. I wouldn't be Drew. I'd be Daru.
Daru.
Yeah,
good call.
I'd be Daru.
Yeah.
That's my hip hop name, also.
Or maybe you just have a symbol, Drew, and you wouldn't even have a name.
Just a D.
Yeah.
D.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I don't know that I'm not sure I have anything after that one. I was going to try and make a joke about how the Kings were it's good they're going to move Kuzmenko off the top line, because otherwise the line would have been the KKK line. So probably a good thing. Well, it's true. They were. That's what they ran against the Devils. They had the KKK line: Kuzmenko, Kempe, and Kopitar. But they put Yoel Armia, also known as Joel Armia.
Okay, thanks for that insight.
So now there's a CAC line.
Now it's the CAC line. I'm good. It's 12:38 in the morning. This is the Illegal Curve post game
It's
show.
hey Drew, it's a lot earlier than where Craig Button was.
I mean, was there nobody else? I mean, I love
That's
Craig
what I
with all
was-
my heart, but was there nobody else who could have done the game for TSN?
First intermission, it was 12:30.
I didn't realize he was in Nova Scotia. So then when Dan said that in the second intermission, he was like, "Yeah,
It's
so Craig."
the world under 17s.
No, I know, but I just thought I didn't know that until Craig mentioned it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in Nova Scotia." I'm like, "Wait, it's like 1:30 in the morning. Like, what is going on here?"
I mean, I tweeted this. The worst part of that, it's one thing to have to be awake to, that late. And maybe Craig's a night owl. I don't know. So, he can speak for himself. But did he have to wear a suit and tie? Now, can you imagine it's 1:30 in the morning. You're broadcasting from some hotel room in Truro, Nova Scotia, or wherever the heck he was. Oh, yeah, you got to make sure you're wearing that good three-piece suit. Hey, we need you looking your sharpest at 1:30 in the morning, for everybody who's really, wide awake watching this game.
That's a fair one. It's a fair point by you.
Thank you. I thought it was just mean. I thought it was just a little bit mean by them. 1-0 for the Kings after 20 minutes. Want to highlight Jeff Malott. He played in tonight's game. He's been playing for the LA Kings, former Manitoba Moose, former member of the Winnipeg Jets. Had a good opportunity. Almost had a sort of a breakaway opportunity, and then he just sort of mishandled the puck a little bit, which was too bad. But I also want to highlight the Dylan DeMello play because it's going to be our Wheatland Hockey heads up hockey play of the game. It's where he takes. It's just textbook hockey. So, sometimes I want to highlight, it's not flashy. There was nothing in this game that was going to be flashy, but just the way that he erases Jeff Malott from the play with an absolutely textbook body check. Not even a body check. It's more of a using his body and then finishing it with a check. I thought that happened sort of later in the first period, a little bit before the Kempe goal. I wanted just to highlight it because it was just such a textbook play that it's the kind of textbook hockey skill you would learn with our friends at Wheatland Hockey. Prairie proud, hockey strong, building skills, character, and excellence on and off the ice. It's a fresh approach to youth hockey and development. That is our friends at Wheatland Hockey. Tons of different training programs available. Check them out online, wheatlandhockey.ca.
Just skipping ahead right now, guys, but also remember when Andrei Kuzmenko had that wide open net before Fiala scored on the power play?
Yeah.
DeMello got a piece of that with
Yes,
his
he did.
stick. So I actually thought that's where we were going to go, Drew, but obviously we're skipping ahead, so that wouldn't make sense. But, you're talking about textbook hockey. I mean, Dylan DeMello really, if you're a defenseman, I don't think there's many kids watching right now because it's almost 1 a.m. But if they're watching the replay or
kids
listening
aren't
on the
awake?
podcast, no, my kids have been. That's the one good thing about these late games is that I can
You
watch
really
the
watch them a
whole
lot
game.
closer.
My kids are usually in bed by around like 8:30. But like Dave, if you're a young defenseman, and you want to improve, like become a better defensive defenseman. Obviously, offensive defenseman, watch Morrissey, right? Like, watch Morrissey. Sandberg, another guy you can watch. But Dylan DeMello, he does the little things right. Getting sticks on pucks, closing the gap, everything like that. Just his awareness. He's a very smart player. Obviously, a little unheralded on this team, not by his teammates, but maybe he doesn't get the headlines just because he's not as flashy as some other players, right? But yeah, I mean, I think that's not the first Wheatland heads up player of the game that we're going to be giving him.
I would agree with that assessment. Yes, he's a very intelligent player. That one I wanted to highlight here on the Illegal Curve post-game show presented by our friends at Play Now. So 1-0 for the Kings after 20 minutes. Second period, no scoring. Shots were 11-8 in the advantage of the LA Kings in that second period. Each team had a minor penalty in that second period. Alex Turcotte for hooking Brad Lambert for that slightly careless high stick. But again, a game where neither team's power play was particularly effective despite the multitude of opportunities. That is until the 15-minute mark, exactly 5 minutes to play. The LA Kings get their insurance goal. It's with the Jets in the midst of a run of penalties, so much so that they were at a point in time 5-on-3 against. Parker Ford takes that puck over glass penalty. And then,
am I wrong in thinking it looked like it hit Fiala and then went out?
I definitely
Puck was rolling, Dave. Like that's why I hate that penalty so much.
No, I know, but it's not that. But it's funny because I just thought it kind of grazed Fiala and then went out. Again, it is what it is, but I just was curious if you guys thought it maybe had been touched by the Kings.
I don't think it did. To me, it definitely crossed my mind that it looked like it sort of deflected, but I think that was the function of the puck rolling, and so that when it sort of fluttered over, you know, when you see it flutter over the glass, you sort of think, oh, it must have been deflected, as opposed to on this instance, it was already rolling, so that's what sort of contributed to the fluttering of the puck.
Can they bring in like an addendum to this penalty where if the puck is rolling, like you won't get called for delay of game? Like we know when the puck is rolling, anything can happen, right? Like it's unpredictable, right?
Tracy's with me. She thought it went off of Fiala as well.
I thought it might have went off the glass.
They can put in as many addendums as they want. Did you see the winning goal for the Minnesota Wild tonight against the Nashville Predators?
Apparently the net was off its moorings.
Well, so the Predators goalie, and I don't know if it was Pekka Rinne or who their goalie was in tonight's contest.
Pekka Rinne, Drew.
Sorry. Again, it's 12:45 in the morning.
What is it? 2014?
Yeah.
I apologize. That clearly would not have been Pekka Rinne. That would have been very odd if it was.
It was actually Thomas Vokoun.
Let's try this again. It was not UC Saros. It was Justus Annunen. But, you knew at least I was in that right ballpark in this case.
Sure.
It's overtime, and he slides over to make the save, and he knocks the net off. And the net is literally 90 degrees from how it normally is. And the refs just rule that Marcus Johansson was going to score theoretically. Anyways, it was a different one.
It was a very bizarre goal.
It was a bizarre one. Needless to say, Michael Russo immediately ran to defense of the Minnesota Wild and said, of course it should count as a goal. But that's neither here nor there. But at 12:45 in the morning, sometimes I feel a little bit punchy. The LA Kings make it 2-0. This is with 5 minutes to go. The Parker Ford penalty has been killed off. The Jets have killed off the 5-on-3. Vlad Nemesnikov is in the box for the double minor high stick on Corey Perry, which really should be allowed to be done to Corey Perry as a rule in the NHL, but that's not the case.
You know how many career games Corey Perry's played, by the way?
1,400. I think I heard it once or twice. Yeah, 1400th game of his illustrious career tonight in LA. So
I think Corey Perry, Drew, is actually going to try to play for every single team, so he'll be on the Jets in about 5 years.
Well, he's going to lose. He just has to lose the Stanley Cup final every single year. That's all he has to do. I don't know he's going to do it in LA this year, but maybe he'll get traded at the deadline.
Sure.
Kevin Fiala, power play goal from the slot. Corey Perry, of course, getting the assist. Quinton Byfield, the secondary assist on this one as well. Scheifele is on the PK here, and he's just maybe a little bit late to get out to Kevin Fiala. But Fiala is a shooter. We know how good of a goal scorer he is, and he's in prime goal scoring opportunity. And I think he sort of goes bar and in on this one. Beats Connor Hellebuyck clean. Real nice shot. You play with fire and give too many power play opportunities. Eventually, you are going to get burnt by Dave Minuk's fire behind him. And it's 2-0 for the Kings with 5 minutes to go in tonight's contest. One of you can talk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I was going to defer to Dave there, but I can jump in and then Dave can come in after. You're right, Drew. I mean, it's a nice shot by Fiala, and it's unfortunate because, as you mentioned, the Jets killed off the first half of Nemesnikov's. Pardon me, not Nemesnikov.
They killed off.
I'm sorry, Nemesnikov.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. I was getting confused with a previous penalty. Yeah, Nemesnikov, and it's also almost 1 a.m. here, so I'm kind of running on.
We're all in Winnipeg.
Yeah, exactly. I think we are, right, Dave? You're using a virtual background though, so you've done that before, where you've been in a different province, and thought you were in Winnipeg, and you've used the virtual background. So with Dave M, it's the PJ, Drew. When you have a PJ,
you can go anywhere
you want, and you can do whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice shot, and honestly, guys, I thought originally there might have been some traffic or something, but it's just a nice shot. He just beats Hellebuyck, and obviously Hellebuyck doesn't get beat from there, but it's just a well placed shot. And again, going back to the penalties, it's unfortunate when you're down a goal and then you take a delay of game penalty. We already talked about it. Parker Ford, Dave thought it might have gone off of a stick, and then you take a double minor for high sticking. I mean, it's really putting yourself in a bad situation to come back and tie the game. And even though, what was that, LA's first power play goal in something like 20 tries?
I think it was like 24. Well, actually,
right,
no,
but-
I think it was 24 coming into the game. I think it might have been like
24.
Was it? Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, no, that's what I'm just saying 24. That's ridiculous. And so you give a team, what did the Kings have? 6 power plays tonight? You give a team 6 power plays, the odds are most likely they're going to score. And I don't think Dave is in Honolulu, but you never know.
You do never know. It seems a little. He's overdressed. He's wearing too many. He's wearing a
Yeah,
big sweater. It's odd that he'd
if
be in
I'm-
Honolulu wearing. But maybe that's part of the decoy. That could be what he's throwing.
And also,
in.
where's his lay? He doesn't have
That's
a
true.
lay.
He doesn't have a lay on.
I have a
He's
poppy
wearing-
though. No lay, but a poppy.
I have the poppy too.
Yeah.
It's only Ezzy who does not poppy.
No. I got to get a poppy. I was
Poppy being a little sloppy.
at the grocery store the other day, and I didn't have any change. And I'm not making an excuse. I will get my poppy.
Sounds like he's making an excuse if you ask me.
No. I'm not making excuses. I make sure I always wear a poppy every
Funny,
year.
I've always got backup poppies.
No, I just bought 4 poppies today. 2 for me, 2 for Laura. Got to make sure you
Nice.
got your poppy and your backup.
Well, and
poppy.
then they're also easy to lose. That's why you got to have a backup one.
Of course.
Well, no, but I will say I made a joke because mine yesterday at the Moose game it popped off my suit, which it usually does like 20 times. It actually only popped off
Was
one
that
time.
a pun?
Yes, a little. Well, I was trying to be a little bit puntastic, but the point is that it ended up popping off just the one time. But I will say I got a lot of tips, Ezzy, from teachers and folks who would work at Legions who told me how I could keep my poppy on without having to lose it. So
Can
Dave
you
M.
share
was-
those tips?
Yeah, I'd like to hear these.
So you basically put the pin through the instead of going through the center, you go through the red part, like through the flower itself, and then that is supposedly it keeps it pinned in a little bit better than if you just go through the center.
But then don't you lose the black piece of felt?
Well, you come in at like I don't know. I didn't do it for the record because it was fine. I didn't need to adjust it. But I'm just saying that was one of the tips. I can read them to you if you like. If this is
Good
if this
tip.
is what if this is what the show has become.
I mean, I think this might be more beneficial than trying to break down this game. I think everyone needs some
That's true. I
poppy
mean,
related
look,
lessons.
it's Remembrance Day till not till the 11th, so we've got some.
Drew, it's Poppy Talk with Dave Manouk.
Yeah. You know. In any event, the Kings make
Hold
it
on.
through.
Hold on 1 second. I just pulled them up.
Okay, please.
Claudette Gabbs said, when you pin it on, pin it through the poppy, then it won't fall out.
Okay,
And
like
then,
through the red part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Torgerson said, I take a piece of eraser and cork the end so it doesn't slide off.
I've heard of that one before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then there was one other one that someone was a teacher said, sent me a message, but I don't know why it's not showing up. Anyways.
Hey, would like people were just sending you this information unsolicited? I mean, I need to know like why are you getting messages about this and I'm not getting messages to this effect?
No, because I tweeted about my poppy falling off at the Moose game
I
yesterday.
see. Okay, so that explains it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also,
like how
sent,
Jeff
me,
Butler-
you also sent me a picture of you getting a pizza after the game.
That is true.
Was he wearing the poppy?
I was not.
Oh, yeah. Well, on your jacket, though. You got it
I
on
didn't
your
send a
jacket.
picture of me for the record. It was a picture of the pizza
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Surprised he didn't run over to your house immediately, or it's
He
entirely
did.
possible he did.
If he didn't have his kids, he did say, and I
Oh,
quote,
man.
I would
Definitely
be,
go for
I
a
would
pizza
be,
right now.
I would be mean to you.
Alrighty. Jets, the last 5 minutes of this game took absolutely forever. Whistle, 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 shot, whistle, whistle,
painful.
shot, whistle, timeout. Lots of whistles and shots, and eventually the final goal is Drew Doughty. It's into the empty net with 54 seconds to go. It's an unassisted goal, and with the goal, Drew Doughty becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in LA Kings history by a defenseman. So a little bit of history there. Drew Doughty.
We all know who he passed. Robert Blake.
His former general manager.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Drew Doughty getting the empty netter and becoming the all-time leading defensive goal scorer for the Los Angeles Kings. That's how the game ends. 3-0 for the LA Kings over the Winnipeg Jets.
I've
Sorry,
got it.
go ahead.
Hold on. Here's, I was looking on the wrong. Here's the real tip from a teacher. Put the poppy pin through the side of the poppy. So very similar to Claudette's from the first. It will never come out if you do that. So you put it in like you normally would, then pull it back until it's almost out, then push it through the outside pedal. I'll be honest with you. I read this from Adam. No idea what he's talking about. I was just happy it didn't fall out again.
It was too complicated for you
It was,
to
it
understand.
was way too complicated. I was like, they're going to tinker
Well, I'll tell
with
you
my
what, if the
ticker.
worst case scenario is you just have to keep feeding money in to get more poppies, then at least the money is going to a good cause.
True.
So, maybe that's why the pins are so.
Although shout out to Don at True North Security because Don has a medal. His little black thing is metal, so it magnetized, I should say. Sorry, so it is able to. Number one, he doesn't ruin his jacket.
Well,
Number two, it stays on.
I'll be honest, years ago, well, maybe it wasn't even that, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were in Ottawa for a family vacation. We went to the War Museum, which is a great museum, very fascinating glimpse of, Canadian military history. And as we were departing, we went into the gift shop and I bought what I thought was like a permanent poppy. So I was like, oh, great, I can use this. I thought it was going to have like a metal backing. No, nothing at all. I don't even know what the hell the thing is. It's not a poppy. I bought this thing. I thought it was going to be great for Remembrance Day. Instead, it's nothing. I have it still in my drawer. I just have no use for it.
Drew, what exactly did you buy?
I bought something in the shape of a poppy that I thought was
did you buy
poppy.
Heroin?
No. Sorry, I bought opium. That's what I did. I bought opium instead of a poppy.
You know what I've seen? I was as on the topic of poppies. I've also seen, I don't know if you guys have seen them. There's someone that's selling beaded poppies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've seen those.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe we'll go to break and we'll come back and talk about this game and poppies and pizza and
we could talk about poppy seeds too.
We could do that too. It's 5 minutes before 1 a.m. The Jets lost 3-0. This is the.
I made a shish kebab dinner tonight. If you guys want to talk about that,
you made a shish kebab for dinner?
Yeah.
You
really?
Cook?
Shockingly, I did for the first time for everyone, and I didn't make anybody sick, which was shocking.
We will come back and talk about this because I thought that your kitchen was strictly ornamental. This is breaking news. I was under the impression you only used your oven as a storage spot for shoe boxes or something.
Seemingly.
So stay tuned for that conversation. It's the Illegal Curve post-game show.
I forgot green screen.
Wednesday morning. Drew Mandel, Dave Manuka, Ezra Ginsburg.
I want to thank you for not betting with Play Now and choosing our illegal gambling site instead.
Because we couldn't afford things like this without your money.
So much of your money.
Now you might have questions like,
Do our profits benefit your community?
No.
Or bet with Play Now, Manitoba's local legal and secure gambling site.
Dining, entertainment, parking, and convenience, all in one spot. City Place is located in the heart of downtown Winnipeg, attached to the Canada Life Centre. Whether you're working, living, or out for a night in the downtown, make City Place your go-to destination before or after the fun finds you. Lunchtime, game time, anytime. Visit City Place at 333 St. Mary Avenue, next to Canada Life Centre.
Boys, I've made an important life decision, and I need your support.
Oh, boy.
I've decided to get a grill.
You mean a barbecue grill for cooking? Like, that's not an important life decision, Ezzy.
No. A grill for my teeth.
A grill for your teeth? Do I even want to know why you're doing this?
It's simple, really. Every time I go to Holt Dental, I get treated so very well by Dr. John and his team that I need to keep finding additional reasons to go back. I rely on Holt Dental for all of my dental needs, and they do it all, from regular cleanings to cosmetic dentistry. Plus, they have free parking at their front door, and you know how much I love my convenient parking.
For all your dental needs, Illegal Curve recommends Holt Dental, conveniently located on Taylor Avenue near Grant Park Mall. For more information, visit them online at holtdental.ca.
Guys, big news. You know how I'm always misplacing my cool stuff? Well, Big Daddy has a new hobby, labeling.
Labeling is your new hobby.
You got it. Ever since I discovered Label Daddy's washable labels, I just can't stop labeling. I'm labeling water bottles, hockey sticks, cereal boxes, roast chickens, team jerseys. Everything deserves a label.
I can think of a label or two for you.
Best part is that Label Daddy is the only label company officially licensed by the NHL. So my labels are personalized and can have the Jets logo on them. Just search NHL on the Label Daddy website.
For almost 2 decades, Label Daddy has been helping people to not lose their stuff. It's the most affordable insurance policy around.
For customized, washable, peel and stick labels with no ironing or sewing required, visit labeldaddy.com and search NHL for the label pack belonging to your favorite team.
For over 40 years, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club has been Winnipeg's home for stand-up comedy. Renowned in the comedy world as a must-play venue, Rumors has recently been named Canada's top comedy club and a top 5 comedy club in North America. From birthday parties to date nights to fundraisers, wedding socials, and everything in between, Rumors is your destination for the best live entertainment Winnipeg has to offer. For information on upcoming shows, Rumors' incredible promotions, and to purchase show tickets, visit rumorscomedyclub.com.
At Boston Pizza, a fast lunch doesn't have to mean fast food. Now you can get a $15 lunch served in just 20 minutes, including your choice of a main, side, and drink. That's right, lunch for $15 at your local Boston Pizza.
Shortly before 1 in the morning, welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg with you. If you haven't already done so, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on. We'll do this again on Friday night. Won't be quite as late. It'll be just before midnight when the post-game show starts, but it'll definitely cross over into the midnight hour where weird and wacky things happen on this program, such as Dave M. cooking. So please articulate what you made for dinner.
Let's see if I can get it up. There we go. Look. Hold on a second. Right there.
Ooh. That looks delicious.
I see some kebabs. I see chicken. Are those red peppers or is that tomato?
Red, yellow, orange pepper. Come on, Drew.
Onions?
Onion.
Yeah.
Onion. Yeah, a little onion.
Okay.
Marinated cut the chicken myself. Created my own honey garlic sauce.
Ooh.
Wow.
No,
this is what happens when both the Jets and the Moose are on the road. Dave M turns into a functioning member of society.
It's the first time I haven't ordered food for myself in about 1,000 years. But yeah,
Didn't realize that we had Emeril Lagasse on tonight's show.
Bam. I don't know if that's the right person, but sure.
Yeah, he was Bam. He was the Bam
was
guy.
he? Oh, that was funny. Okay.
Good job.
Anyways, so yeah, that was my unremarkable dinner, which people enjoyed. So that was good. And yeah, I was just surprised that so far nobody's felt the ill effects of salmonella, of course. So that's good news. But yeah, anyways, it was just a random. I think I saw a recipe. I was like, oh, that looks good. I'm like, let's see if I can actually do this. And I did.
It reminds me of the time, Dave, when you had just purchased your house and we had a nice little sushi candlelit dinner for 2.
Yeah, but as I ordered that.
Yeah, but that was exactly. He wasn't making.
Well, no, but
it
was food. So I mean, I don't really care where it comes from.
I'm pretty sure, Ezzy, you were the first person to eat in that house.
Was it actually a candlelit dinner?
No.
You sure?
Well, something got lit, but I don't think it was a candle.
Yeah. Yeah, use your imagination on that one, right, Dave?
Alrighty. Want to say a big thank you to our sponsors.
Well, hold on, Drew. I mean,
hopefully none of whom are watching this.
Yeah, of course. But I will say we've been having a lot of fun and this is great. And hopefully folks have been reading illegalcurve.com. But the most important thing is all the news, Ezzy, that's come out in the last few days. Morgan Barron out week to week.
Yes.
Gus Nyquist, which I thought for sure was going to be longer term, just day to day. Cole Perfetti and Dylan Samberg, I saw someone asking questions about them. Scott O'Neill did his best ambiguous response to my question about the two of them. So he did say they're on the road trip. My interpretation of his comment was that they are going to see if they'll be getting into contact, which he kind of intimated would be later in the road trip. They're off tomorrow. They practice on Thursday. They practice on Saturday. I don't know their schedule for next week, but they play every other day. So we don't know how many practices. They might have one more practice next week. But the way he made it sound, I don't know. He said they could be an option, but I don't think he meant. I think he meant in terms of contact boys. I don't think he meant in terms of playing a game. But that kind of is kind of in that time frame for those both their, I think about 6.5, 7 weeks in terms of their injury. So that was kind of the exciting news with respect to those guys and injuries. But unfortunate news about Morgan Barron, of course.
Yeah, and we'll touch on all of that in more detail on Saturday morning when it's not 1 in the morning, but on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. when we delve deep on the Illegal Curve hockey show.
It's called The Taster.
You can look forward to that. You can look forward to Friday night's Illegal Curve post-game show. I'm going to go look forward to getting into bed, and Dave is apparently going to keep cooking, is what I understand. He's going to flambe some bananas. I think he's
I'm done.
He's done. He's done. He won't cook for another 20 years.
Dave, do you ever julienne?
I don't even know what the hell that is, but sure. I knew a Claude Julien once.
Yeah. Big thanks to all the sponsors of Illegal Curve who make the post-game show, the Saturday show, the website a possibility. Big thanks to all of you who are still awake and joining us for this. So we're not actually just crazy people talking to ourselves. We're crazy people talking to a few other crazy people who are listening. That's always reassuring. Our friends at Play Now, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Holt Dental, City Place, Wheatland Hockey, and of course our friends at Boston Pizza. And can't forget our newest sponsor, Label Daddy. Gotta love our friends at Label Daddy, so check them out on.
I love that commercial, by the way.
What's that?
I love that commercial.
Yeah, the commercial's great.
It just makes me laugh.
It does.
And Phyllis enjoyed the commercial. I heard her say as he labels roast chickens.
Well, I mean, it's comedic genius. The music works. Everything about it is just a great ad. So
look, guys, my kids have to know that those roast chickens are off limits.
Plural.
I need
chickens, plural, not just singular roast chicken. You need 2 of them. The kids get 0 roast chickens.
So Drew, I want to make sure I'm getting you right. You don't want me to do a Manuk Moose Minute right now?
I want you to do that. You can do that on Friday night.
I'm just kidding.
Not right now. Thanks, everybody. Support these fine businesses with their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. For Dave Manuk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. IllegalCurve.com's got all your latest post-game news. Smash the like button. We'll see you Friday night for the post-game show after the Jets and the Sharks. Until then, we wish you good night and good luck. Thanks for joining us on the Illegal Curve post-game show.